We are live.
Boom.
Howdy to everybody in
Ooh,
Patreon land.
bam. Anytime I get an idea, we're going to light myself like this, baby. I'm just going to bring it in. All right, now I'm looking at my live chat screen, but I don't see anybody commenting over there. So,
Oh, yeah, there's all kinds of comments on there.
really, I'm not getting it. I show 9. No, I'm not getting anything on the live chat screen.
Huh. Howdy to everybody tuning in. Thank you for joining us. This is hopefully the first of many live streams that we want to do just with you guys.
That's right. That's what we're talking about. And we're turning the frown upside down for those that want to see it.
I'd like to say thank you for putting on the undershirt.
Thanks. Yeah, I almost went without just so Raster didn't feel like he was missing out. And I thought I've got to wear the undershirt. All right, I can't see comments. I thought I did the right thing here, but all I can see is what I'm posting. And I was really hoping that I'd be able to see these comments coming in. I've got the pop out. I've got live chat. I can see where I said Bart's in the house and anyone on, but I can't see anything.
Oh, I never even saw that pop up.
So I'm clearly like not properly connected. So
Drinking Caveman says that's his favorite shirt.
Boom. See, it's got some fans. Anything that's an outlier, baby. You know, some are going to hate it, some are going to love it, but it's unique. It's a goodwill gold mine is what happened with this one. You couldn't have somebody make you a shirt that is as divisive or knitting together of the what? See, this is why I need to see the comments.
No, I'm laughing at you, the commentary you're putting out there.
Putting out some commentary, baby. I'm trying to open another new window. We're going to go into our show.
Yeah, well, let me go through. We got Drinking Caveman with us, Santa Cruisin', Jerry Bartlett's here, Daniel Willis, Amy Holland Woody.
Yeah, we got Amy in the house.
George Kaplan, a.k.a. the husband.
The hub. He should be called the hub. Amy Hub. Live chat. My goodness, I can't.
Now, let's see. Santa Cruisin'. Well, maybe you don't want to put your name out there, I guess. I'm not sure.
Right. May not want to claim
that is. Yeah.
But he's a fan.
Everybody else, Haw Speed Haw. That's is that Brian?
That's killing me, dude. That's killing me.
What?
I can't pull up and see the comments, so keep trying to do the breakout and I can't see
it. I'll have to show you sometime.
Yep.
Probably your internet.
Nope.
Bart was accusing my internet of acting up, and I said it's probably his.
Nope. His internet's bad. Mine's high speed now. I upgraded, baby. I upgraded just for the folk. Look at that. Bam. A light has been shown. See, I don't know how good effect that is.
Bryce. Yeah, Haw Speed Haw is Bryce. He's the one. He won the I think it was one of the first giveaways we did with the what was the little rocks glasses that I got that I really liked?
They were called rocks glasses.
Rocks glasses.
I think they were.
And then Santa Cruisin', his name is Scott. Chris.
Chris. Yeah, you're Scott. So I'm like representing with like a famous dummy shirt. You've got HBO. And then it's originating year of 1977.
Well, and generally, I've been wearing one of our dummy shirts.
True.
But I thought I don't need to advertise to our Patreon supporters.
Well,
they know who we are.
I can't see their comments, which has got me irritated. But let me ask them, if any of them have got the shirts, what do they think about them? We use a third-party company so that there's a lot of variability and da-da-da-da-da and 5 different designs. But put in the comments what you guys think of them if you've ordered them. I'm kind of curious, and I'll share my opinion on them in a little bit with you guys. By the way, I've got my whiskey cast glass here that Mark sent right there.
That's what I'm using too.
Look at that. See, next time when we do our third style glasses, we got to put the logo higher. We got to get it higher on the neck, I think, rather than down in the fat part of the belly.
And what I'll tell you, okay, so tonight we want to go through, we got the Johnny Walker's Blenders batch. We'll take a look at that. And really, maybe we'll move on to something else. We'll also, I think we can let's address a lot of questions that come in. I'll try to watch the comments and stuff coming in from you guys.
You said we might move on to something else. All I can say is, wow. That's all I'm saying. What? That's not even code for saying, wow, that we might move on to something else.
Hot Speed Haw, Bryce points out it was 5 o'clock rocks was those glasses. That's right.
Right. Okay. It had the 5 o'clock in it. Now, are we popping back and forth good for the viewers? Are we, because, when it's just you and I don't know if it's popping.
Several comments on the t-shirts, Bart. Jesse voicing he likes the ordering process and the t-shirts are comfy. Okay. Amy loves them. Basement Drammer loves the shirts. Santa Cruising shirts are great. Brian Hunter's a fan of the t-shirts. Lots of options and styles.
Okay.
Great quality. Drinking Caveman, the heathered tee is good quality. Sadly, the print ink is a bit thick.
Now, see, that's kind of where I was headed. With the print material, it seems, I don't know, it seems like I'm with you. I don't know if it's a haze to it or what. It just doesn't seem like they're making them as sharp as they should or could. Maybe they can't. We had assistance with the logo. The logo is a full, what do you call it? I know you call it the PNG file, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Vector file or a PNG.
Right. Vector or PNG. And I don't know. I just thought it would be maybe a little sharper. And then, the one shirt I plugged, Aaron Martin's a local musician. I backed his CD on Kickstarter, and I got a shirt. Man, the shirt was about the same quality as ours, but the logo had almost like a rubberized, feel to it, and it was overlaid over the shirt. So whatever was vacant wasn't like a stuck-on logo. It was just, I don't know, it just was nice, and I kind of thought, man, this logo is different how they did it. I didn't, I know we're using a vendor with a bunch of options, and they ship direct. So I do like that. Matter of fact, I like that baseball one you did with the different colored sleeves and like the short arm thing that comes down. But I was curious because, the Super Scotch God fans will tell us yay, nay. So.
Drinking Caveman points out, though, he works with teas a lot, so he's a bit picky.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's what I want. I want somebody that's picky, that's like, this is middle of the road quality. The t-shirts themselves with the options, you can definitely get a high quality t-shirt. But that was kind of what I noticed is the logo. I don't know if thick's the right word, but it just seemed like it was a little hazy or not as sharp. I don't know. That was my only thing. I like them. I love the designs even. And we're tweaking them. And I love what Roy is doing when we have a special limited option for a 12 hours of boom or for the 16 bottle shootout. What?
Drinking Caveman says, sounds like a bubble print. It's nice, but costs more, and you can only do one color due to bleeding. Is yours a one-colored tee, that one T-shirt you was talking about?
Yeah, they used a white on like a heather gray, and then it's almost feels like a rubberized material, and he's right, it's one color, and what they kind of use is the shirt acts as the background for it. But it's touchable. Whenever I wear it, the wife wants to touch it. When I'm around Scott, I don't know. I think you'd want to touch it, but I don't want all that. Man, I wish I could have got the comment screen to pop up. All right. We'll do a call-in later. For those that are on via Patreon, if you want to send me a message, I'll be the only one that sees it. You can send me your name and your phone number, and I'm going to do some call-ins later. OJ for Hire. We're going to be calling him a little bit later. I'll put him on the speakerphone. And so anybody that wants to try this call-in thing, we're going to try doing that. I really loved it when Scott and I did the impromptu deal. I don't know. It feels kind of retro, old school call-in radio show-ish, and I dig
it. Someone earlier pointed out good quality, or the video, good video quality going, which is from you guys, our Patreon people, because both of our webcams and our Yeti mics we've bought with funds that you guys have given us. So
yep. And on that point, before we get into reviewing this blenders batch that we're nosing and sipping on, there was one reason. We had one commenter who was just vocally didn't think it was a good idea to maybe advertise that we were doing a Patreon only show. But as even another fan pointed out to the individual commenting, why wouldn't you do that? We weren't going to have a show at all tonight because we didn't have a guest lined up. And Scott and I had talked and said, yeah, you know what? We haven't really done anything for you guys since we were doing the special coin call outs during the 12 hours of boom. And we like linking up with you guys. And we talked about, do we publicly say we're doing this or not? And my feeling was we do, because one, I want to let people know, hey, one, if you're a Super Scotch God fan, support us, you get extra content. Two, I thought it might bring some more people in. And sure enough, we got like three more people that were like on the fence and were like, we're in. We want to be optioned in on that. So, and it's a great way, quite honestly, which is why I'm a little disappointed I can't get my own comment box up so I can see your guys' stuff, but Scott's got it. It's a good way for you to give us that direct feedback. I mean, it's like when my sister tells me I'm heavily opinionated, hard to argue with, and I talk too much. That's true. Scott, would you concur? Look at that.
I concur, yes.
It was on your face. You were like, yeah, I'm with your sister. Woo! But that's what you need. So you need your Scott.
I was going to say, if you want to, real quick, just go to Patreon, Bart. Go to our Patreon webpage and click on the link for the video there and try the chat again. You got to be able to pop it out there, or at least view it. I don't know why it didn't pop up for you, but
okay. All right. Well, let me just got a Patreon message that came in. Hold on, you heard that bang in. Let me see. Yeah, let's see. That is I'm on my phone watching and can't get to the YouTube chat. So OJ for Hire can't get to the YouTube chat either. Because he's on his phone. Do you have any tips for that, Scott?
It is on the phone, but you gotta like scroll down to the bottom and there'll be a little tab. Usually on the phones, but might depend on the platform. But I know on the iPhones, well, I've seen people on the Samsung phones too doing it. If you scroll down to the bottom of the page, there's a little tab at the bottom for the chat.
You know what? We had someone else join, Tracy, who was one of our traveling dummies. Tracy joined at 6:49, and you know what? He wasn't part of my separate email or Patreon message shootout. So let me make sure that he got the link sent to him.
Oh, he should have, because I didn't do the link till about 20 till 8 was when we.
Yeah, the area you did it definitely should have sent him the link. And maybe he's in. Maybe Tracy's in. I was just doubling down by sending it out on a mass group post that's here as well.
Jesse Voisin is asking if we just turned on AdSense because he's been getting commercials before our videos for the last week or so. We've had that on for a long time, actually.
Forever.
He should have been. Most people should be getting videos, commercials before the videos.
Right.
Now, my little 2 cents on that, we can't tell you to click on the ads, and don't click on the ads, but we get more money from YouTube if you at least watch the ad. Let it play through.
If the ad is interesting, because what it does is play for 5 seconds, then you can skip it, which is, we've had that almost since, 3 months in?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So more than
now, if you skip the ad, we don't get any revenue from that. Now, I can tell you though too, we are approaching $100 a month on YouTube.
Woo-hoo! We're going big time, baby.
Coming up on 4 years, and which is that's still good, but
Yeah.
people think they're going to join YouTube and start making a lot of money.
Nope.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know what? If you're a 16-year-old kid that can walk people through Minecraft, you'll make probably 10,000 a month.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Turns out Scotch show with 4,000 fans nets you $100 a month. So, yeah, my boy will watch this like Minecraft guy that's now, I think he's like 22 now, but I guess he started when he was 16. My boy will watch hour upon hour upon hour. And I'm thinking this guy's killing his viewed minutes. We do a show and we're good to get like, what, 9 minutes? A lot of people drop off. This kid's got to be getting like 2-hour viewings. And I can just imagine his parents like, Jimmy, what are you doing? I'm making $3 million a year, Mom. What? You're 16. That's right. Who needs to go to college?
Well, that was, remember when we had our live stream with the Scotch for Dummies? That was how they started doing it, because they were hanging out and drinking Scotch, and they were by a lake one time, and he saw this kid with all this fishing gear, and he's like, God, kid, you got a lot of fishing gear.
Yeah,
I do this YouTube show, and they just send me this stuff.
Send it. Yeah.
Oh,
what the hell?
Tracy Caudell is with us.
All right. I don't have to worry about Tracy. Way to go, Tracy. You came in late. I was worried that you hadn't got the message. It looks like Scott's method of posting it, which is good. It sends it out to everybody that way, too. So, wonderful.
Well, I don't know, when you're a Patreon supporter and when we post something, do you get an email, or do you, I mean, if you have your notifications turned on, do you automatically just get like a little alert on your devices? You
get an email, because we back Bubba and the Beard, and whenever they put out a show or put it on Patreon, I get a little email that pops up, and then I can go watch their show. Although they don't do live shows, so I guess I wasn't 100% sure how that worked, but I figured it would pop up. And then the messages go to their email as well. I know that.
Let's move in. Johnny Walker's Blenders Batch. Bart, you got the bottle over there. Tell us a little bit of information here.
I do. So it's 10 years old. They used 3 different grains. They call it the triple grain American oak. And the grain is going to be, it's a barley, a wheat, and a corn. And then they say it's blended with select malts. So they just say it's blended then with select malts. And then we got, they claim it's sweet and creamy. Yeah, I'll give you definitely on the creamy, with the fresh fruits and gentle, spicy smoke. I get no smoke at all. And then they do age it 10 years in American oak casks. So, you know what? I like Johnny Walker. It's the biggest seller out there as far as blendeds. Blendeds sell way more than single malts. And I don't ever poo-poo on the blends. Just, I love Compass Box, which is much more of an artisanal blender. But Johnny Walker the Johnny Walker Black is really my first foray, and Scott, I know yours, into Scotch in general. So, but, you know, I know some people are really down on blends. I'm not. More of a, you know, I like my single malts, and I love these. Okay. I went back to this the other night, and I'm still on board with the Lefroy 10. But, you know, blends are great, and I always keep some blends around, especially some Johnny Walker, because I'll have friends come over. You know, they're used to like a rum mixer or rum and Coke, and I'll get them to try one of these because they're a little sweeter, a little smoother. But on the nose, Scott, I don't know if you want to go first, since I've been bloviating.
Well, I went in for a taste. I've been nosing it for a while here. I got a grainy or a grassiness.
Yeah.
And a little sour on the nose, and that's about it. I wasn't getting too much else. Now, I'll tell you, the taste I was pretty impressed with.
See, it's got a sweet nose to it, which is kind of what I expect on the blend. ABV's got to be 40. I didn't even look, but I can just kind of tell nosing it. Yeah, 41.3, oddly enough. Okay.
It does have a very nice vanilla cream to it.
Yeah, it's very creamy.
and a little like an orange marmalade and sugar. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
all right.
It's got the sweetness. Do you get any smoke at all in here? I don't.
No, not yet.
I mean, I just don't. But I mean, I'm a peat head, so maybe when they say smoke, I'm thinking creosote, and it's more of a subtle whiff.
I think it was the last live stream we did when we did it with Whiskey with a View, with the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, with Whiskey with a View, and Single Malt Alliance.
Yes.
And we were using a couple coins we had on a peated Scotch.
Oh, really? It's
and then I was down here a few days later, and talking to Aqua Vitae on a hangout.
Right.
And I had something that wasn't peated, and I used a coin, one of those coins that had been on one of the peats to top it.
Love it.
And I come up and I'm like, oh wow, I just got a little peat. Yeah, Roy was like, there ain't no peat in there. I'm like, wow, yeah, it's just. I was like, oh wait, I was like, it's the coin. It was still on, just on from covering the glass with the peat in it. That peat was still in that coin.
That's what I'm talking about. The only thing I miss, and our Lefroy shootout, the 7-bottle shootout, still doing great. But we did the shootout before the lore came out. I wish we'd had the lore in there.
Yeah.
That or the new cartridge. So.
Okay, keeping in mind this is a 10-year-old whiskey, like you said.
Right.
And I think our price point on this is about $30.
Yeah, I think this is before I started my writing on the bottle technique. Yeah, but it was very, very affordable. The 10-year mark, I thought I'd get a little bit more wood flavors in there because I'm not picking it up. But they had a weird statement for the casks. It just says aged 10 years in American oak cask. So what are they using? Like, it's the 7th fill. What is it? So
based on that, I mean, for $25, I'm pretty impressed with it. $25-$30 range.
Right. The back, some of the marketing is enjoy this irresistibly mellow. I would agree it's mellow Scotch whiskey, a blend of 3 grain whiskeys. That again is the corn and the barley and the wheat, including the now. It says from storied distilleries, including the now closed Port Dundes and select iconic malts, including Mortlock and Cardew. That's different. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting.
Well, that's what Speed Haw pointed out a little bit ago. Cardew and Mortlock are the main 2 malts in this blend. And OJ for Hire is with us now, too.
All right.
And Ju Kim has come in.
Sweet. Now, OJ, when we're done tasting this, I'm going to give you a call on the number you provided, and we'll put you on speaker, and we'll see how the call-in version of the Scotch Test Dummies goes. Now, again, I can't see the comments, but maybe we can get some comments that come in on what people thought of the 12 Hours of Boom or the 16-bottle shootouts. I can tell you our plans now. The 12 Hours of Boom was a lot of work, and Scott really did a phenomenal job lining up those guests, which is a whole additional work. We're talking about doing that once a year. First of all, it's kind of hard to do 12 hours straight. Second of all, we've got a lot of ideas for some big 16-bottle shootouts. We both really enjoyed that, but I'm curious what you guys are thinking, what the Scotch gods are thinking about
it. Jesse Voisin had asked Bart, have you ever tried a bottle and liked it? You bought a second bottle, and then a year or 2 later wondered why you liked it so much.
The closest.
So the second impression wasn't as good as the first.
Okay, the closest I've come on that is the Glenlivet Nadura peated. All right, and what let me back up. So Scott had that bottle, got it down in Texas. It had been open for 3-4 months, probably 2/3 gone, maybe half. And when I tried it, first of all, my expectations were low. Some of the Nadura stuff, I'm like, eh. And it blew me away. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be gimmicky the way they were using, they were aging it in peated casks or casks that had peated whiskey in it. And I loved it. So when I went down to Texas, the next time I was down there, I picked up 2 of them. And I opened it right away and I tried it. And I was, wow, it was still good, but it wasn't 94, which is what I'd scored it. And so I immediately wondered, well, maybe this needs to open up a little bit. And I've gone back to it twice more, and it's still good. It's still solid, but it's not giving me that same 94 wow factor that I got, which you literally experienced on camera there. And I don't know if it was because I had prejudged thinking it was going to be gimmicky peat, and then it was pleasant, very pleasantly surprised me. And that brought it up, or if it maybe just needed to sit a little longer, because quite honestly,
I would say it probably needed to oxygenate a little bit, because the bottle that I had when we did it had been open for a few months.
And that's
I've gone back to it for a few times. I've gone back to it a few times, and I really enjoy it as well. It really is good. And it really got good reviews. If you go look, there was a lot of people that really liked that edition.
It did. So that is the one where I put it back on the shelf. And it's about time to pull it down and try it again, because like I said, it was still good, but it wasn't that knock your socks off that it surprised me when we shot the video, because and I suspect that some of it could still be that I had lower expectations that were it under promised, or it kind of promised and then it overperformed. And I didn't think it was going to. What about you, Scott?
Well, I was going to show you today, and then I don't have it in the shot, but I spent today putting up some more shelves that will be behind you when you're over here. So I got some more bottles up, but then the way I've got my shot lined up tonight, you can't even see it. So good thing I hustled around today and got her done.
Well, you've managed to show it to us now, so that was well worth it. They've now made the show.
I had bottles all over the place. I still got bottles all over the place, but
that is a beautiful problem to have.
Whiskey Throttle just joined us. He had asked on Twitter when the link was coming up, and I said, we're just on Patreon.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. So has anybody else, any other questions, any other thoughts on the 12 Hours of Boom
yeah, we had some comments come in on that real quick. Jesse Voisin points out that the Glenlivet Nadura peated was his bottle of shame. He dropped one just like I did the Balvenie, and Bart has dropped the Cragganmore. So we're not alone in that battle.
Yeah, there needs to be like an improvement in glass that somehow makes it. It's almost like the glass on your iPhone. It's gotten better and better. Nobody's breaking glass anymore on their phones. I want Scotch bottles with the Gorilla Glass from the iPhone on it. That's what I want. We need to patent that.
Let's see. Let me scroll back up here a little bit. And I've got the chat box on my laptop. Usually I have it on my desktop, which is over here, but it's crashed finally on me. Of course, it's about 10 years old. So yes, probably Christmas time or after, I'm going to have to upgrade the desktop.
Well, and that leads toward, are you going to use, and I think you should, some Patreon funds to replace that desktop, because that was a workhorse when we were over at your place.
Well, not just Patreon funds,
but that is kind of what,
since you guys are watching, me and Bart are both pretty money conscious. We're both smart with our money, mostly. Bart probably more than I am.
Ooh,
but
I don't know.
We do spend, we've bought several bottles for the bourbon shootout were purchased with our Patreon funds.
Right.
The black art was purchased with them. The webcams, the mics. but we still put a little back. We save because we want to do, when we do the bourbon trail or we go to Scotland and we can say, you know, that didn't cost us anything out of pocket. We were able to use, you know, the funds that we had saved up. That's an ideal goal right there.
Right. Right.
So,
because what we want to do, it's not just us taking a trip and being like, hey, we're going to film while we're there. So there'll be, you know, we're going to have to coordinate this. And we know some places may have rules where we can't film maybe inside the distiller. We don't know. We've got a local distiller that's given us permission to film in there, but then they changed locations on us. And I haven't talked to them since they moved. But we would love to do, you know, even if it was down to a Facebook Live thing that we did, you know, while we did a tour or some interviews or whatnot, and that's definitely, you know, what's in the plan. We've got our day jobs, which is a little bit of the hang up. We can't just pick up and go as easily as we might like. And I want to say, we've got a couple other folks that are kind of in our sphere that have gotten, you know, a call that said, hey, we want you to come cover XYZ event at X location overseas. And we're open to that as well. Obviously, if that happens, that wouldn't be Patreon funds. That would be them paying. And we would do a similar deal like what Mark Gillespie does, where we retain all editorial control. And then we declare, hey, we were sent out to whatever. Tomatin's brought us out for a brand new bottle of, you know, innovation or something. None of that's happened yet. I think we scare some of these distilleries, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe me, maybe not you.
Were you able to get the chat box open?
No.
Still?
You know, I quit messing with it because we're rolling, and I didn't want to be all.
A lot of comments about the 12 hours of boom, and someone asked, or Drinking Caveman says it'd be great once a year. We are talking about it. We probably will plan on doing it an annual event. We did talk about maybe we do that next summer, like if it's in July, and then maybe we take a month vacation. Like that's the season finale, and then we take some time off. Maybe we haven't decided yet. You know, I was thinking though, especially with the campfire afterwards, July is kind of a hot time. Maybe we save the 12 hours of make the 12 hours of boom earlier or later when it's a little cooler outside.
Right. Yeah. We talked about maybe taking even a week or two off just because in the middle of the summer, that's when our views kind of slow down. A lot of people are traveling. It's so hot out. A lot of people aren't even thinking whiskey. You know, they're thinking Zima. And so we thought maybe that would be if we coincided it. But I'm with you. You know, if we did you're right. It kind of hot to be out doing a fire. Although we got lucky that night. There was a cool breeze blowing. But yeah, I don't know. We're definitely going to keep doing the 12 hours of boom, though. I mean, it just it ran smooth. You know, it didn't get a whole lot of hits, but running them consecutively like that. And I think we'll cut down on our location changes. That was neat, but boy, was that hard.
Yeah. Well, that was the first time we did it, and it was neat starting, you know, at my house in the kitchen where the first review was, and then going to the basement, going to your basement, going to your kitchen. I mean, everywhere we filmed a review, you know, we included in the 12 hours of boom. But yeah, probably the follow-up or the second season finale will be one location.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if we did a set location at the bar, I liked the angle that the laptop brought. That was kind of interesting. You know, it was kind of ad hoc, but that angle we've even recreated in our latest shows, a little bit lower angle. So we learned a lot from that. We are trying to, and actually great to bring up with you guys, I've been trying to reach out to actual distilleries. Brooke Lottie shot me down real hard. They were like, no, thanks. We don't want to be on your live show. And I was like, okay, still love you guys. Port Charlotte. All right. But I reached out to them. You know, Tomatin's been our only distillery to come on board. So I'm going to keep reaching out because I'm a firm believer that I'm probably just not talking to the right person, or maybe the shirt or the chest hair is scared off a distillery or two. All of that is possible. I will say If you guys have a favorite distillery, whether it's U.S. based, Ireland, Scotch, Scotland, whatever, reach out to them, because sometimes when they hear it from the fans, they expect me to say, hey, well, this is our show, this is what we do, and they kind of got their shields up a little bit, I think. But if they have a fan say, hey, the Scotch Test Dummies love you guys, you really are missing out, you should, I'd love to see them interview you. I think they might actually recognize what we're doing. We're new media to them, and I'm not sure they know how to even handle it. So would you concur, Scott, on that?
Yeah, and I think within the next few years, we'll probably see a drastic change.
I agree.
Even Single Malt Alliance and Whiskey with a View, the interaction they've gotten from distilleries just from the popularity on Instagram, a few years ago, they said that wasn't there.
Right.
And I think it's the same thing. You'll start to see YouTube coming that way also. It's so cheap for a distillery or a brand ambassador to advertise a bottle on YouTube. I mean, what's a full page ad in a magazine cost a distillery?
Yeah, it's
tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
where they can send out a bottle at $40 to somebody and have it posted on YouTube, and it's there forever.
Right. And we're talking to, kind of the elite whiskey drinkers, really. I mean, they've searched us out. By the way, I'm going to open a brand new bottle of Wow. The old bottle of Wow is back there. It's awesome, so I'm not going to drain it, but I want to open this new coffin bottle looking thing. That is a bottle.
First of all, I can see the other bottle on the shelf clear back there behind you, and it looks like it's almost empty.
Well, it almost died at the fire of the 12 hours of boom. The guitarist apparently thought it was tea. By the way, that nobody drove that night. The guitarist slept on the couch. So he talked about it. I'm like, dude, you ain't going anywhere. Sleep on the couch. He slept on the couch. So we take care of our musicians when they come over, and they help out with the show. So,
well, Steve, that's Steve, cousin Steve. He's funny because he's not used to drinking whiskey. He's a beer drinker.
He is.
So he was knocking some whiskey back.
Yeah, he told me later, man, that was strong. He didn't know the proof.
Well, out there by the fire, we had the Knob Creek 25th anniversary at 120 proof, and then the bottle of Wow at 138 proof.
Yep, and it caught him off guard. I think, he had one or two, and then playing the guitar, it snuck up on him, and he was thinking, oh, I can make it. And I said, dude, just stay here, and I'll get you a blanket, and that's what he did. So, but no, that was good. That was fun. Now I will mention only to these guys, because we haven't even brought it up with anybody. I wouldn't mind if we had a sponsor from a distillery like the 12 Hours of Boom. If we were able to say, Johnny Walker sponsors the Scotch Test Dummies 12 Hours of Boom, and it wouldn't be all Johnny Walker, but we would definitely do, whatever their newest bottle was, and maybe have one of their brand ambassadors on, and then just mention occasionally that it was sponsored by them. I love that. That would help us, again, keep the show funded, keep the show free for everybody. And I think it lends a little bit of credibility to quote unquote our brand, if I'm just, dreaming. So, and then, Scott and I have different ideas that pop in. One of the most beautiful things about this show is we're making it up as we go. I mean, we're two good buddies hanging out doing a show, and we'll be sitting around sometimes just watching a movie and, testing a few new bottles. And Scott will say, hey, I got an idea. What if we do this? And I'll go, wow, that's cool. Because we kind of,
I'm going to interrupt you.
Do it.
You said at about the 15-minute mark you was going to call OJ for hire. We're 40 minutes in. And before you do that, though, I want to say congratulations to Claire, gender neutral Claire, who's getting married today.
Way to go, Claire the third.
We're not sure if that's the bride or the groom. This video, though, it's being recorded right now. We'll post it to Patreon. Only Patreon can watch it. So those that aren't watching now, when you come in later, this video will be on Patreon.
Woo.
So maybe Claire will be able to come in later and watch.
Oh, I forgot I poured the wow. Woo. I reached for it after I was looking at a message I got, and I was like, man, I thought I was still going to the
Johnny Walker.
Walker.
I got to tell you, I don't think it's that bad. You said you wasn't that impressed with it.
Well,
I mean, keep it in mind, it's a 10-year-old blend. Now, here's my thoughts on the blend also as well. You were going on a little bit earlier. There's some good NAS whiskeys out there. And if you're one of those guys that says, I'm not drinking NAS whiskeys, you're missing out on a lot. If you're one of those guys that says, I don't drink blends, you're missing out on a lot. Just like Bart said with the Compass box. I'm going to throw Douglas Lang in there. And I mean, there's several others out there that are doing a good job. We've had those, of course, the Exceptional whiskey series from Don Sutcliffe. Very good.
Right. All right. Now, should we give OJ a call here? It's not the real OJ.
Right. He's out now. He might be up for a call.
Did he get out?
Uh-huh.
I didn't catch that. I saw he was up for parole, but I didn't know he got out. Hopefully he can keep his nose clean.
Santa Cruzan is asking if yours is the A117 batch, and I know that it is. And I can tell you, though, I just saw a bottle tonight in our store of the, I believe it was the newer batch, the A517 batch. I didn't buy it. It's went up a little bit in price, and I've got a couple bottles.
Well, this is the B517.
B5 117.
Yep, B517.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the newer batch then. Okay.
Okay, so I've got the B517. You were going to hook me up with the older batch, didn't you?
No, that's the one I bought, the two, and that's one of the two that I got before that you got. So I got the same bottling as that one then.
Huh.
That's right. We never saw the A117 was the batch that came out in January. We never even saw that one here.
Got it. I think you're right on that one.
Yep. That B517 was, or the B batch was the first batch we've seen here.
All right. Now, Ron or Ronald, I'm going to be calling you. I'm going to put you on speakerphone. You may have to bring down the volume on your show if you start to get some reverb. We're going to just give this a try here. Let me get back on my screen. And I'm going to call you Ronald, which is what you got. Let me put you on speakerphone here. And we're going to see how this works because I love the idea.
I'd like to say, too, going into the 12 hours of Boom, we were at 20.
Keep going there. Keep going. You're all right.
24.
Dummies.
Hello, Ronald. I heard that. Give that greeting again. I stepped over you there.
Delonta, dummies. What's going
Man.
on, fella?
Hey, we're doing good, man. This is working pretty good. Now, Scott, are you hearing this good? Is it coming across well?
I can hear him. Hi, Ronald. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, thank y'all for giving us all these good reviews and all the fun and good times. Thank you.
Woo. All right. I'm loving this. Now, let me see. I didn't have much prepared because I know we're just winging it with the phone call. But if I'm asking you, out off the top of your head, do you have a favorite show out of all the shows we've done? Is there one that you've liked more than the others?
Well, I like the one where I saw the story about the first wife divorce story. That was pretty good. That was the Stag Junior one.
Yes.
Went off into it. I mean, that was like classic, when she kept asking, are you going to take all the stuff? You're like, I don't want a divorce. And she kind of got it to her head that it's best to let him have it and let's go with it, right?
That's right. Yeah, my comment, she says, hey, what about my washer and dryer? And I said, is it in the house?
Yep.
That
was part of your that was the only thing you wanted in the divorce was you said everything I get everything that's in the house.
Right. Yeah. She said,
Yeah.
I want a speedy divorce. She said, what do you want? I said, I don't want a divorce. And she said, well, that isn't an option. I go, well, then I get the house and everything in it. And she was like, done.
There you go.
Yeah. And then she had second thoughts, but we ended up closing that deal. That divorce cost $75.
Hey, that's the best one. The one when you get up with the skin on your teeth and whatever else you can get, just move on. It seemed like everything worked out, so worked out for everybody.
That's it. And we still get along. So, hey, if she didn't want to be married to me, it was sad for me, but what are you going to do?
But let me tell you something. Yeah, I have only bourbons right now. I haven't got a chance to get into Scotch because I watched y'all earlier episode where y'all was saying y'all were Scotch guys and didn't get into bourbon, so I'm going the other way. I'm all bourbons right now, per se, and not haven't had a chance to get into Scotches yet. So, yeah, I mean, I've got the Stag Junior and the Bookers. As a matter of fact, I just tried it last night, both of them. And you talking about delicious and creamy. Yes.
Now, have you tried, do you like the Maker's Mark?
Yeah, it's okay in a pinch, but it's that's a wheated one, right?
Yes, it is. It's a, or as Scott says, it's a weeder.
Yeah, see, I guess from my experience, I tried that and I tried a Weller. And I'm not into the wheaty ones. I don't know why. I guess I'm more of a, I want all that sweetness from the corn, I guess. So,
nothing wrong with that.
You know, I did a Weller 12 and it was good, but I guess my palate's not developed enough, I guess you'd call it.
No, you're all right. You know what? We were both surprised when we did that blind shootout.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that shocked me. That shocked both of us. You know, the way I was, I went Elijah Craig, but that Maker's, I didn't know what it was at the time. I could tell it was different, but it just came in as subtler and softer. And I'll admit, Scott was like, hey, man, I'll take that Maker's because I chose it. And I said, it's darn near gone, man. That turned into a daily sipper. I've had a full bourbon conversion.
Well, what happened?
Bourbon conversion.
What happened was when we got done, we filmed the 16-bottle shootout. And as soon as we were done, before we even did the championship, we divvied up the bottles.
Right.
And so it was like picking your basketball team in 8th grade. Bart said he wants this one. I chose this one. Bart took this one. I took the Elijah Craig, and Bart took the Maker's Mark in there. So I came back just last week, and I was like, hey, since I got the Elijah Craig, I'll switch you for the Maker's Mark if you want. He said, it's almost gone.
It's almost gone, baby. I've been draining that one.
There you go.
All right, so Ronald.
Yeah, that was.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying that was surprising, but in the whole big picture, Elijah Craig is an outstanding choice, and the Maker's is so smooth. Yeah, it's a good smooth one, but yeah, that and I've been able to hunt down a few 1.75 of Elijah Craig 12, my friend.
Us too, my friend, us too.
Oh, hey, buddy, I'm telling you, and they got dust on them, and I'm like saying, I'll take them dusty bottles, my friend. Yes.
Gold mine, man. Gold mine. We had the Whiskey Scout call us and say, hey, found some 1.75. Still's got the 12-year mark on it. And we were like, buy them. Buy them.
Exactly. I mean, because, buddy, I'm telling you, I have no plans on selling them, but, buddy, they will, they are gold. Yes, you're right. You are correct, Mundo.
Yep, you're good. Well, that is cool.
A quick question. Do you know if the Eagle Rare is going to stay age-stated, or is that going away since it's on the back? Or you haven't had any information on that?
Everybody says it's staying.
So they're saying they're going to keep it because it is on the back, right? Don't they keep it on the back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we keep hearing that it's going to stay, so we'll see. Hopefully they keep it because I know the Elijah Craig, from my understanding, is now they're kind of aging it to just 8 years. But they don't really tell you.
So see, and here, and of course, there's a workaround. As long as they still keep making the bottles of Wild, it's going to be 12, and you can get it in, like you say, Bart, you can bring it down to what you want, and you can still have a 12-year-old bourbon. You just got to get the bottles of Wild and just doctor them down to what you want.
Love it. That's what we love here. At least that's what I love. Yeah, that's with my bourbons, that's definitely what I like. I like them strong and sweet.
Exactly.
That's how Scott likes his women.
Well, Those are the best kind, I guess. As long as they don't cost you too much in the end, or So
there you go. That's good. Well, anything else?
Those that'll be tuning in later, or if you missed it, this joining us on the phone is Ronald, and he's one of our Patreon supporters. He's been in chatting OJ for hire.
That's right. We got a live call in from Ronald.
Yeah, and my thing before I go to let y'all go, I want to tell everybody who's listening to, if you can, increase your contribution to Patreon like I did. I started out low. I increased it because of the content, and these guys should be able to do this without going into their own personal too much. And just we like it, we listen, we watch, support as much as you can. Like I said, I increased mine. I put my money where my mouth is, and I increased mine from joining Patreon. So that's the message I would like to give. Increase if you can, even just a little bit here and there. And if you have to decrease it because of whatever, that's fine. But try to increase if you can.
We disclaimer: we did not pay for that.
No. Thank you, Ron.
No.
I appreciate it.
He's saying that, and I increased because I'm like, I like it, and it's worth it. Like y'all say, is it worth it? Yes, it's worth it.
Woo! Look at that, bringing in the catchphrase. We're loving the Ronald. Thanks, brother.
All right, well, y'all continue, and I'll continue to watch, and I will continue to support, and good luck, and Salanta Dummies.
All right, Salanta, Ronald. Thanks, brother.
Ronald.
See you later, man.
All right, fellas.
All right.
All right, Mark. All right, Scott.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you.
And we had a lot of comments coming in here last few minutes about Oberlauer Abunad, and so I had to go get mine. It was on my new shelves over there. I would like to point out, though, if some people are skeptical of these floating shelves, I am too. Those are temporary until I can get something else over there. Probably some bookcase style shelves from IKEA, because someone pointed out they liked IKEA shelves. And yeah, all this is IKEA, matter of fact. But
I would be if you're. Hello. Wow.
Sorry, that was the bottle.
Yeah, whatever. If your Compass Box shelf went, I would be sad, dude.
Oh.
I would be sad. First of all, I want to thank Ronald again for this is the first time we've done the call-in kind of deal like that. So he's our very first guest. We'd noticed that Ronald had increased his pledge. We love that. If it's $1 a month, awesome. If it's more, great. You guys are so good, and getting the word out is wonderful. And we love all the little touches. We've got Amy and Amy's husband sent us a couple care packages with stuff from the local area. We got several folks that have sent us samples or bottles. So thank you. I just can't say enough. Appreciate Ronald's kind words. One thing we were even telling just regular fans that aren't even Patreon supporters, we are going to keep the show live. So you guys are going above and beyond and helping us do that. And Scott and I have even talked. Neither of us are in a position for about 3 years to retire from our day job. But that just means we got 3 years to work really, really hard. And if we can get this show to the point that we were able to retire early from what we planned, I plan to do another 11 years. But if I can just do 3 and take this show full time, Scott and I would love to do that. And that's why you'll see us trying to line up maybe some sponsors here or there. That's why we sell merchandise, and that's why we're on Patreon as well. So thank you guys, because we want to do a lot of stuff, and we know that if we can even go full time, we can do more. So
here, real quick, if I can get this going. Daniel Copeland is asking. He's got a picture on Twitter, and he wants your guys' help as to what he should drink. The guy's watching. If everybody can see this, help Daniel choose his next drink.
Now, what's the picture? Are you able to see it?
Yep, he's got one of the black art. He's got Hepburn's Choice single malt 14-year Glengoyne cask strength, 2 Brewers single malt, 3 think that's a Glengarry Oak, maybe behind a bottle. Port Charlotte 10, Tullibardine.
That's it. Port Charlotte 10. I was hunting for that. Could not find it.
There you go, Daniel. Bart says the Port Charlotte 10, second limited.
Yeah. There was a reason I tried to reach out to Brooke Lottie and get them to be fans of the Dummies. If they started sending me all their little special things, woo, man, I'd be in heaven, dude.
Well, was that screen? Maybe that wasn't screen sharing. I thought it was.
No, it didn't screen share, at least on my end. I would have. But
he already got a suggestion.
There you go. He got it.
My Oberlauer Abuna is batch 57, 60.7%. And is one of my favorites. Not batch 7, Oberlauer Abuna.
Boom. You know, that is one thing that's nice. You've come around to the peat. I've always kind of liked the sherry, but we're both strongly in the other camp. You know, I'm a peat head. You're much more into the refined sherries. You can pick out way more on the, you know, a cognac finish where I start to feel like I'm getting lost in there. I can tell there's subtleties, but I can't pick them out. I don't know which one's which, but we basically turned into a little bit of Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah. I think it's a good balance what we've turned into, though, honestly. Me being the sherry head, you being the peat head, you know, the viewers get a good balance. And what I've said before is if there's a bottle and me and Bart are both like, wow, you need to go buy this.
Yes.
That's a definite buy.
Yep. Because we'll get a lot of questions where someone will come on and, you know, even on Facebook, I'll get stuff saying, hey, I'm pretty new. Can you suggest a bottle? And what I try to tell them, I usually give them like a good solid starter bottle that I'll say, hey, try this out. And then I tell them, watch the show, try a few things, see whose palate is closer to yours, Scott, or is it me? And then kind of track in with what we're doing. But I tell them the exact same thing. When in doubt, or if you're not sure, find something. Go to the webpage where we even got all our scores. Find something where we've aligned and try that. And that. Quite honestly, that's where I think as a reviewers, we do bring a lot of value. Yes, we got an entertainment level, but I think we bring a good value on that as well. That sounded too formal. You know, and then I told him to go get like a Crown Royal NHR, $17, can't go wrong. Give it a shot. See if you like rye. So Canadian rye.
Yeah, that was one though where I was like, you know, it's okay. It's good. It's worth the $20. You were head over heels for it. Yeah, and some people have been, but like I said, that wasn't one that we were both like, wow, you got to go. You know, Ardbeg Dark Cove committee release. We were both like, wow. Octomore 6.3. Wow.
Right.
I think the Glengoyne 18. Well, actually, we kind of did that shootout. We did the 12, 15, and the 18 with the Glengoynes, and we were both, you know, wow, you need these.
Right. Yeah, and that's. Yeah, I think those are key ones that we're good at picking a standout, which is nice. You know, I'd say about a year and a half in, we were starting to be able to pick out standouts. The actual Crown Royal NHR, that was one that gave us our first little peaks because we had bought, you know, you've told this story before. There were a bunch of Crowns on sale. We picked up a whole slew of them thinking, hey, we got to do some Canadians on the show anyway. We get over to your place. We're going to watch a movie. I say, you know what? Let's open this cheapest one. This it was on sale. It was $17.99.
Yeah. And
I'm thinking this one's not going to be that good. And again, surprised. I literally took the first sip. I was like, what? And Scott was like, whatever. You're messing with me. I was like, try this. And I knew I was a little more head over heels than you, but you know, we shot the review 3 months before Murray puts it as the #1 for that year in his Bible. in his whiskey Bible, and immediately people started searching out reviews, and that's where we got our first big uptick.
Yeah. Well, we had mentioned, so earlier I mentioned the 12 hours of boom next year, and then maybe we take a vacation, is because we've noticed each year, last summer and this summer, YouTube, just overall views, subscribers, earnings, everything really drops during June, July, and August. Really, September things start to tick back up again, and I think it's just people are busy and they're out. And there's not as much YouTube viewing going on until it gets cold outside and people are stuck indoors. So that was one reason we had talked about maybe next year taking a little time off. We haven't decided that, but right. that's a possibility.
This year we went the other way, and instead of taking time off, we doubled down.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, instead of taking time off, we thought, hey, there's a lull. What can we do? 12 hours of boom. And then we're going to have a regular show, and then we're going to do a 16-bottle bourbon blind shootout. Bam, bam, and our numbers went through the roof. I mean, we had a hell of a July. What was weird is that for some reason, subscribers are always low in July. I think last year it was like 60 on average in July. This year we were about 125. So again, we're up, but we were around like 225, 240 on average, but it just slows down. Everything slows down in the summer. But I kind of like that we doubled down. I mean, we really, you know, we went way out of the box, you know. Oh, if you open one of those Compass boxes when I'm not there, oh my God, what are you doing?
Everybody's calling for me to open it. And you know what? Maybe I should, just for you guys. Compass box, the Spice Tree Extravaganza.
Especially since you know I'm not at your house.
Well, come on over.
I can't. I've got the fam's here.
Here it goes. Now, I did expand. Those watching, you can't see, but the up there on the far end, the double single was added the other night. I did pick up a bottle of it, and I didn't know if I was going to or not till I saw it on the shelf. And then I was like, yeah, I need to get that.
Tell me about it.
What?
I haven't read up on the double single.
It's actually the second edition he's done. And what it consists of is 2 single malts. That's all that makes it up, hence the double single.
Wow. All right.
Kleinelish is one of them off the top of my head. And I'm not sure the other. Someone can comment, I'm sure. Here it goes. I'm opening. Don't talk, Bart. People want to see this. The Spice Tree Extravaganza.
What'd you say? Huh? What?
There goes. Oh, there it goes. And let's see if I can get the cork. Boink.
Beautiful.
All right.
Beautiful.
Oh, wow. Almost like a cognac nose.
Here's the deal. We've got to get a live episode with John Glazer.
Yes. Now, I tell you what, we get John Glazer, the circus will get opened.
Ooh, I've got to do that now. He'll do it. He'll come on just for that.
I would open the circus with John Glazer.
Wow, I got to make that happen now. Anybody out there know John Glazer? Send him a clip of that.
Maybe a trial, the sample bottle of the circus.
No, the big bottle, so you can share it with your big friend. What's the nose on that like? I'm going to pour some more water.
I got to kill my ceiling fan.
Why, it's ruining the nose for you or something?
Yeah, it's always, it blows right here. I'm in a small room here. That ceiling fan really circulates good. It really does. I mean, I've noticed when I go to know stuff, that fan is pushing.
Really? I've got the bottle of Wow. I'm putting a little water in it.
Now, I might have to use Patreon funds to replace that bottle I just opened.
Oh, boy. Sounds like shenanigans there.
That's right. That's shenanigans.
The good thing is now we can review it on the show.
Hey, Scott Slattery is with us.
Woo, big Scott.
Scott just sent us, and I just opened it last night. Oh, I put it out on the bar. An Oregon single malt that is peated.
Ooh.
And it's
my life. Wow. First of all, I'm impressed with all you Patreon followers getting him to open any Compass box. That's impressive.
This one's been, and you know, Sam Spears was just talking about this one the other day and how he loves it. So maybe I better take a picture and make sure I get that tweeted out.
Well, what are you getting there?
Hold on just a second.
All right. I'll while you're taking a picture,
one thing at a time,
tweeting it, and I'm gonna just talk because I know you've got like a big tree on the bottle there, but I can't remember. I've gotten lost in the array of Compass box. I'm not sure what that one's bringing to the party.
Okay, so the spice tree,
right?
Compass box spice tree. This was is it the 15th anniversary? Either the 10th or the 15th anniversary of the spice tree. This one was the extravaganza. So bottled at 46%. It's just it's like a Peat Monster 10th anniversary bottling. Just a anniversary bottling of the spice tree. So remember, the spice tree was heavy kitchen spices, you know, ginger and cinnamon. I'm going from memory here, allspice, stuff like that.
Got it.
Hence the name Spice Tree.
Hence.
Yes.
I like when you use those big words. That was a good one. Hence.
Oh, well, Slattery is pointing out the double single is Glen Elgin and Gervin. I was thinking it was a Klein Elish.
Now, I know when you were starting to buy these, I was encouraging you to always buy two. So did you buy two of the double single?
No.
Dang it.
I might though.
Good. Because one thing I know, Scott has a bit of a collector gene. So if he has two, he can easily open one for consumption and keep the other one as a collector, and it makes him feel better.
Full disclosure, you know why I opened this Spice Tree extravaganza?
You have a backup.
I've got two.
Bingo.
Drinking Caveman is asking Scott and Bart, could we see your rooms? Would love to see the behind the scenes. If the rest of this room wasn't a mess, yes. Now I'll tell you what though, I don't have a bar per se.
Kind of.
I have a very small bar. It's about 4 feet long. It's what the builder put in here. We didn't build this house. This house was built in '96, and it's really, I would be ashamed to show it to anybody. But hopefully one of these days in a couple of years, the Scotch Test Dummies allows me to build a new bar.
Sure.
A grand bar.
I don't know about grand.
Yes.
Just like slightly sufficient. No. And then I'm in my office, and what you'll basically see here is I've just got some whiskey bottles and some board game stuff along the side. But my office is probably not great either, because you'll see that I've got a few board games back here, because what I've also do is I'm an avid board game collector, but then I'll get in like one-offs or special things, and then I'll resell those. I've been doing that for years, well before I got into whiskey. So I've got these like cardboard boxes all over the place. Makes it, and there's a treadmill that shows up on camera right over there, because I would rather have the treadmill tucked into the office than out in the main area where I do a lot of tastings and board game stuff. So, am I a board game lover, Scott?
Yes.
Yes. What I am going to do is via our webpage, I'm going to do some like behind the scenes reviews where I'll cover what some of the little different things are in the bar, because all the little knickknacks in my bar go back to my childhood. The little troll dolls, not the Scotch Test Dummies dolls. We got those as little things when we started the show. But I'll do a little show that kind of covers, hey, this little Hot Wheels case, I had when I was 8, and that's why it's here. And here's the cars inside. So I'm going to do some behind the scenes stuff in there. but I'll probably do that in a little bit better production style rather than just shooting this. The office is okay. Definitely, I like shooting at the bar. In Scott's office, one reason we do most of our live shows, we do it at Scott's, is I be quite honest, I love his setup a little bit. Your camera's a little closer to your wall, and my wall's a little bit more distant, so everything's a little elongated in my shot. So, but I will tell you, back over here, I've got a print that I got when I was about 19 or 20. And I forget what it's called, but it's like a businessman that's at the Vietnam Wall. I was in the military, and he's leaning on it. And in the relief or in the shadow of the wall, you can see his buddies, but they're all in their like fatigues or whatever. So it's like he's remembering his buddies. I love that shot. I think it's called, I want to say Remembrance or something. And I've got this little print that I had that I actually brought into the office because we had a real drab office at one point when I was in our downtown location. And it's the American flag. It's called Freedom, and it's got a quote from John F. Kennedy. And I can't remember the quote off the top of my head, but it really spoke to me at the time. And there was a point where they did a remodel, and they told me I had to take it down. And I didn't get mad. I just brought it home. I was like, whatever. So, okay. And so I brought it home, and it's why it sits back there. So, but that's just a little bit. Then my wife's desk is here, and she never uses. She's all laptop-ish. So, but it is what it is.
Whew. Break.
Sorry. Did I go on? Did I talk too much?
Someone had asked. I've been waiting to talk about the Spice Tree Extravaganza, and then I got asked what my first impressions were, and I said, if Bart quits talking here, I'll be able to tell you.
Sorry.
I did have to get up though while Bart was talking. He allowed me to find I had some the print offs from Compass Box on the Spice Tree Extravaganza. And I'll tell you, my first impression is I'm glad I opened it. It's very good, and I'm glad I have a second bottle. And I know where there's more in town. I might have to go pick those up too. Anyway, it looks like 6 different caskings are in here, from first fill sherry butts, refill American standard barrels, light medium toasted hybrid casks, refills. Now this is one, the Spice Tree and the 3-year-old deluxe. Compass Box did, if you eat, they could not release what the age of the parcels were of the whiskeys that was in there, but if you emailed them, they would tell you. So I emailed them, and I got kind of just a generic reply, or a copied and pasted reply. But they go in the 6 different parcels. The first parcel, which is 32% of this, is a 20-year-old whiskey. And then parcel 3, which is 2.6%, is a 19-year-old whiskey. Parcels 4, 5, and 6 are 13-year-old whiskeys, which is about 45% of it. And then 17% of it is parcel 2, which is an 11-year-old whiskey. It's very fruity. The sherry is in there. It's very sweet. It's very masked, though, at the same time. It just comes off as a lot of fruits and a lot of sugar sweetness, kind of like peaches, tangerines, pears. It's very good. I like it.
Good. That was a good description. You didn't go into any kind of wall art.
Oh, I do have Piss Boy up here I could talk about.
Yes, talk about Piss Boy.
Does everybody watching know about Piss Boy?
He's hidden, right?
We used to have a work fantasy football league, and each year we would have a winning bracket and a losing bracket. The winner of the loser bracket got the Piss Boy trophy, which I owned like 4 years in a row until our group was disbanded, and I just kept Piss Boy.
That's right. And that's based on, someone actually told us there's an actual statue in France that is based.
Yeah, that's right.
So we nicknamed him Piss Boy, but he's got a real name. I actually purchased that, and I don't think I was ever the winner of the loser league. I was never the winner at all, actually. I came close one year. So,
I don't really get, and it's been a while since I've had the regular spice tree. I'm not getting kind of the same spice notes that I did with the spice tree. I mean, like I said, this is more fruit, the sherry and sweetness. I can remember, though, the spice tree itself being more cinnamon, ginger, allspice, stuff like that.
Right. Are there any other questions coming in? Because this is, I mean, literally, they're the VIPs, and we'll answer their questions. That's why I bloviated a little bit on The Office, behind the scenes. It's all about pleasing the fans.
Drinking Caveman wants to know if we're going to do a Scotch Test Dummies League for fantasy football.
Ooh, you know what?
We'd have too many participants, probably.
Yeah, and that was one deal. I was the commissioner of our league, and it got to be a lot of work, and I stopped enjoying it as much.
He's busy.
Well, no. I had some complainers. It's amazing. And you weren't one of them, Scott. You always rolled with it. Boy, I'd have some people that would just, his guy's not on the injured list, and I checked the ESPN report, and he needs to change it. And I was like, oh, my God. And this is a fun league that was like, I was just, it started, the fun was drained. I would be nervous about doing a Scotch Test Dummies fantasy league.
Daniel Willis asks, Bart, what's the one bottle you really want but can't get your hands on? What? I bet you ours are probably different, I'm sure.
Well, you know what? It's the one it was that Port Charlotte 10-year cast strength that I tried to find. There was supposedly one in our city, and that's the one where I went and searched for it. And they either wouldn't tell me they had it or they'd gotten rid of it already. So that was the same place where I requested it. And some guy in a suit starts yelling, Pappy, just get you some Pappy. If there was, I about said, shut the F up.
So you didn't point out like a 50-year-old Balvenie or the 52-year-old Macallan,
no.
The 37-year-old Lefroy. It's just the 10 Port Charlotte.
Yeah, first thing
the $50 bottle.
Well, it wasn't 50. I think it would have been I think that was running almost 100. But I will tell you this: I'm a cheap date because age doesn't overly impress me. I believe I was reading a lot of history on Scotch in general and bourbons, and there was a point when they couldn't move stock and marketing reared its head, and they started really pushing that age mattered. And there's a clear historic delineation when they didn't push age at all. It was all about the quality of what they were making, less about how long it sat in a cask. But when they had it sitting in cask for so long, suddenly they started marketing campaigns that age mattered. And now you see it switching when they're moving NASs and they're saying, oh, it's the quality again. So as much as I think some of these older ones, I'm sure they're phenomenal. I'm a peat head, man. The peat diminishes over time. So give it to me young, young and fresh. There's a shirt in there somewhere, because if you're a peat lover, you don't have to wait too many years before you're getting the good stuff. And I think that's awesome, personally.
I'm trying to think what I would choose would be the bottle. The problem that you can't get your hands on. So, I mean, there's like the Balvenie 30-year that I'd love to try someday. It's here in town. I'm not going to spend that much money for it. But thinking something that you can't get your hands on makes me think, what do you want that you can't find? What do you want that's maybe gone? I don't know.
See, I knew what I wanted. I knew it.
I'm going with Maker's Mark.
The cash strength 1996 bottling. So, you know, I will say I've thought about both of our birth years is 1970. And I have thought about finding something that was laid down in 1970 before it ends up where it's a 40-year-old bottle. You know, I mean, I guess it could be. Well, it would be right now, but, you know, God, Almighty, we're getting old. I guess it would be that old. Well, I guess if I could find, well, I guess it would be that old. So I don't know. You know, I've thought about that before, that if I could get hold of something just for the, you know, hey, this was laid down the year I was born. But
I just thought of one, and that was, I think it came out probably about the time we were getting into whiskey, and that's the Booker's 25th anniversary. I'd like to try that one.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's a lot I would like to have tried, and there's some that intrigue me, but I wouldn't say I'm overly excited. That Port Charlotte, that 10-year cash strength had me excited. It's because I'm going to admit, it's because that Port Charlotte Scottish barley, it's a little bit better for me than the Isla barley. It gives a big run for the money for my favorite of all time, which is the Lefroy 10 cash strength. And I remember thinking, if I can get a hold of this 10-year cash strength, it might become my favorite.
Daniel did just point out the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, and right there is it. I wish I could find that 2015 edition of the George Stagg. That would be, you know, if I could buy a case of that somewhere, boom.
That was good. You know what surprised me, though, with bourbon is you can get really, really good quality bourbon that's not very expensive.
That's true. That's true, too.
So, you know, we've been talking. We're going to film, I don't know when exactly, but it'll be soon. We've done our top 5 scotches for beginners, and after we did our 16-bottle bourbon shootout, we've decided we're going to do a top 5 bourbons for beginners. And my eyes were opened wide by that shootout. I mean, I feel like, you know, we've talked about our whiskey quest, and that was a huge chapter in it. I mean, I feel like well, this will sound melodramatic, but I felt like I grew as a whiskey drinker in that shootout. And I really, really got a lot of personal value out of those segments.
The sherry is starting to come through more now on the Spice Tree Extravaganza. It's had a little bit of time to air. Delicious. And it shows its age a little bit too. I mean, it comes off as a, you know, if you look at the mid-range of the parcels used, 15, 16, 17 years, somewhere in there.
God dang, I need to buy more bottle. Wow, this is good. I definitely couldn't drive to your house now.
A couple comments about the Balvenie 1509 batch 3 and the batch. Well, Jesse Voisin is looking for a bottle. He can find the edition 2 online for $4.50, which sounds a little high.
Yeah, that is high.
I know we've got some edition 2s around here somewhere, I believe. I know there's still a batch 3 at a store, but it's $400.
Holy moly.
Now that's, I mean, the batch 2 at the lower, it was good, but at the lower ABV, it's probably at the most a $300 bottle. I would say the batch 3 though goes up $400, $450, somewhere in there value wise.
You know, I didn't like it as much as you did, but it is good. It's quality, and I bought one.
And thank you.
Thank you very much. You put up with me, man. Not too many people can do that. Not the first life, for sure.
We're at an hour and 25 minutes. We've lost a few viewers, not many. We still got several tuning in.
Good.
What do you viewers think? Are you still good for a while? Do we need to be wrapping this up?
I can tell you, I can go another 10 minutes, and then I probably want to check in on the spouse.
And by check in, you mean check in.
Give her a kiss. I told her I had a live show at 8 with Patreon supporters, and she was like, okay. The older boy's mad at me for whatever reason, so I'm good to go on that one. It's like a mini me, and so when he's pissed, I just give him his room. I just give him room.
Again, though, when we started, thank you to all you guys, and this will be posted on Patreon. Hopefully, you guys come in later and watch this. A large part of what we're doing is because of you guys. A lot of stuff we do, we go, well, hey, we've got Patreon funds. Let's do what you were talking about.
Right.
So it might be stuff that we didn't do.
Right.
Like the 16 bourbon shootout. I mean, we had several bottles on hand, but we said, hey, let's use our Patreon funds and buy I think there was 8 bottles we didn't have, so you guys are a large part of really keeping us going.
Because let's be honest, if I went and told my wife I got to go buy 8 bottles for a show, she'd be like, you got to do what? Yeah, and I'd say, well, it's for the show. It's for the show. And she'd be like, and I'd pay a price for that. So when that comes out of our business credit card, it is not a problem whatsoever. Although she's still stunned that people like us enough to even help support us. I will, and this is the Puerto Rican wife. She's like, they do what? They help you with money? What? I mean, she's still not sure what we're doing isn't illegal. She just can't believe it. She's like, no way. And I'm like, I'm telling you, we're good. Well, we're okay. We're okay.
Daniel Willis is talking about the Black Art 4.1. It's still in one store at least. And I think Daniel's in Oklahoma City, if I remember right. But he's seen it for $270 down there.
Get it.
Which is a good buy.
I would buy it at $270. I think I might buy one just so we can compare it to the 5.1. The 5.1 fell a little short for me, but we got to do a versus to really figure that out. And I expected more. And I don't know if it was just my heightened expectation or, was it not quite as good?
I think it was your heightened expectation. And that's one thing that we get into is you always want to compare. Let's compare this to this bottle. Let's compare A to B. Let's just look at A, and not compare. I mean, I do it too. I'm
not looking at your A.
But I think we all fall into that sometimes. And if we didn't do that, let's just look at the juice that's in the bottle and is it good or is it bad? But we all do it.
Right.
I do think, I felt the same though. I sat down with the 5.1. I was like, this just doesn't, I don't remember I remember the 4.1 really blowing my socks off.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And it reminds me of that first Octomore we had, the 6.1, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then, and it was okay, but I didn't feel it was as good as the standard Port Charlotte Scottish barley. And then when we tried the sample of the 6.3, again, blew my socks off. We open up the 6.1 while we're doing the live show, and you can distinctly tell 6.3 was way better than the 6.1. And I wouldn't have bought another Octomore period based on my 6.1 purchase. And now they got that. You seen this one they got coming out that's like even higher ppm? Do you see that?
Is it it goes up to, I think it's 298 ppm.
No. There's a new one that's like 339.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I knew it was higher. The 6.3 was high at I think it's 258. And the new one is higher than it.
Yeah. And I'm like, I got to get this new one. I got to find it. I got to get it. I got to try it. So, yeah. Again, Brooke Lottie. But boy, they gave me like the stiff arm, dude. It was like, boom. I was like, hey, we'd love to have somebody live on the show. Bam. They were like, go away. I was like, dang. I was like, I would love to review one of your Octomores or something on the show, or maybe the 10-year cast strength Port Charlotte.
Now, I saw the 4.1 in Dallas for $299.
That's good.
And then we're trying to get, we've been talking, there's one of the liquor distributors here out of Kansas City. They're, I think, is it Standard?
Yes.
One of their
reps,
who's been promoted a time or two since we've been talking to him.
He's an Uber rep.
An Uber rep. But he pointed out that they still had 2 bottles in their inventory somewhere, and he was going to try to find them. And we might be able to get one of those, hopefully, for a steal.
Good. A steal. Wow.
Yeah.
Good. Sounds good. So
he did just give us a bottle. It's a Kansas only. It was for Kansas, but it's a single barrel. He helped pick it. Right. The Glen Rothus casking and a sherry cask. And I popped it the other night. And yeah, he said it's very reminiscent of the Macallan cask strength. And I didn't have that. Would be a bottle there that I wish I could find was the Macallan cask strength, which I've never seen.
Right.
It's several years old, though, and rumor is they're getting ready to do another release of it, but it'll probably be, of course, higher dollar than the old release.
Got it. Well, that's good. That is good, good, good. Yeah, I've got to try that.
Whiskey Throttle points out, don't believe all that ppm marketing. Now, I will tell you, there's 2 different scales that they use. Lafroig and Ardbeg come in at around 50 to 55 parts per million. They use the opposite scale of what Brooklottie is using on the Octomores.
Really?
I do know that. Yeah. Octomore's using the other scale, which is more friendly, if you know what I'm saying. But I will tell you this, the 6.3 is better than the 6.1.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, and I'm actually I agree to a certain extent. Well, when I had the 6.1, I was like, the Port Charlotte's better than this. It just is, and so the Octomore, I wasn't like an Octomore fanboy at all, but the 6.3 was solid. And again, when I go back to even a regular Lafroig 10-year, not even the cask strength, I get the lovely warm peatedness, and I get the tobacco smoke or the pipe smoke. So, they're not the end all be all. I love what they're doing, though. I really, really do love what they're doing. Anything that's pushing the boundaries is very intriguing to me. So.
Yeah, and I agree. And Daniel says, how much do you think we can actually taste on our taste buds at one time? And I believe that too. I think, at some point your taste buds are saturated. Now we'll see. Will we pick up a bottle of this 300 ppm stuff?
Yes.
Probably. So we'll see.
And a lot of that is their marketing, but it really makes me want to try it. And I wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for the 6.3. I mean, I wouldn't have been. I would have just let it pass on by. So I get what you're saying, that just because it's this high ppm doesn't necessarily mean anything. That first 6.1, I kind of felt like it was all creosote and less flavor, and that's why the Port Charlotte was head and shoulders above it. And I didn't expect much when we tried this. I was glad we got the sample of the 6.3 from a fan. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm glad I'm trying the sample. And then I tried it. And I was like, oh, I got to source this. I mean, and that was good. I mean, that was good. And that's the difference is I knew it was different. And then we yanked it off the shelf. And I was like, yeah, it's a lot different. So, I mean, it's like having 2 different uncles. They're both your uncles, but one of them took you out in the 1985 to an arcade and gave you $20 in quarters and said, let's play. And you're like, hello, Uncle Joe. Hello.
Jesse Voisin is asking, he says, you ever burp or hiccup the next day and get peat? Someone on one of their live streams, one of the other reviewers the other night brought up peat flashbacks. Huh. And I can tell you it happens. I was at work one night. I mean, it's 10 o'clock at night. I'm at work. I hadn't had peat in a couple of weeks. And I might have even been talking to you on the phone, Bart. And I was talking to someone on the phone. All of a sudden I go, I just tasted peat.
Really?
Yeah.
You weren't standing near anybody named Pete, were you?
No.
Well, that's impressive. I've never burped peat. I almost wish I could because I love it so much.
You haven't ever just been, you know, walking around Sam's or Walmart or something. You haven't even been drinking, and all of a sudden you're like, Pete, I just tasted Pete.
I haven't. You know, where I feel the most guilty is when I get home from work and I haven't even taken off the proverbial tie yet. And I'm like, I'm pouring me a peat. The tie's not even off, and I'm at home, but I'm pouring a peat and letting it aerate a little bit as the tie and the accoutrements come off, and then I'm like, boom, peat. Hello, friend. Hello.
Now, Whiskey Throttle is also asking, have we ever tried Big Pete or Smokehead? We've had both, and then we've got reviews up of both.
Yep, and I've got the Smokehead 18 that I have to open that I bought at a very I bought it at an elevated price because I was told that it was a fluke that they had it and that it's not supposed to be sold outside Canada. I'm sure it's okay to sell it out of Canada or they wouldn't have had it. But I'd never seen it, so I picked it up. And I've been a little nervous to open it. I don't know why. Partly because I love the regular Smokehead, and I'm kind of like the 18 is probably going to be less smoky, not more.
Go grab your bottle real quick. So, because I don't think Whiskey Throttle believes you, because he's in Canada.
What, the Smokehead 18?
Yeah, go grab it real quick and show. Now, yeah, I will testify. We did the Smokehead, and we actually did fried pickles on that one. Sometimes we do some food pairings with our whiskeys, and that one I love some fried pickles once in a while. And I had a pretty good recipe for some, and I showed you how to do them on our Smokehead review. So if you go pull that up, you'll see Scott's world famous fried pickles and Smokehead. But he was on the second episode of our 12 Hours of Boom, Dave Dvorak. His shop, Flint Hills Spirits in Andover. We were in there one day, and on the shelf was this 18-year-old Smokehead. Go ahead, Bart.
Boom. So there it is. It was in this canister that had all this kind of stuff going on. So it said the big old 18. And it's got 3 clasps. And then I'm going to open it all gingerly. So then you open it, and it looks like this. And it's got like a little card that gives you the history on it, which is kind of cool. And this is a real hard foam. This reminds me of like the foam that you would have for like a handgun.
If you drop that in your driveway, that will protect the bottle.
Yes, this would be saved. So then it comes out. You can just see it's just got a form cut out here. And then you've got your top strap on it that comes around. And it's got a real just kind of bare bones kind of feel to it. So, and then it's just less oily and bananas and rich and smoky.
You should crack that open right now.
We are not going to crack this open just yet. And I should, though. And it says it's extra black, Smokehead extra black, Islay single malt Scotch whiskey, bottled in Scotland by Ian McLeod Distillers Limited. Yeah, it says extra black. Once you've gone black, you don't go back. That's not on there. I think that's
Jew Kim and Whiskey Throttle both are saying you need to open it.
Not right now. Not unless you open that circus.
I did the Spice Tree Extravaganza.
You had a backup. You got a backup.
Jesse says, what would you score it?
What?
The Smokehead 18.
I haven't even tried it yet. Why would I wouldn't, if I tried it on the spot, I wouldn't score.
Just throw a range in there. What would you score it?
Without having tried it, I would say probably a 90 or 91. And that's the deal, because I think it's going to have a nice smoky flavor, but I like my smoke strong. And when an 18-year-old peated is usually a much more in the background, subtler smoke. So I'm probably going to really like it, but it's not going to be, this is again where I'm lucky. A 10-year peated, you know, the regular peat head I got behind me over here, I'll pour one of those, or the smoke head.
What's your motto? I love 10-year-old peats.
I love 10-year-old peats. And heck, you give me an 8-year Lagavulin, I love that too. That's what I'm saying. You can go young. You can go young with your peat, and it's better. It doesn't necessarily improve with age. So that's the gift of the peat.
I picked this up last week, Bart. I hadn't even told you about it yet, but we did the Cooper's Crows from Jamerson as one of the three. The Blender's Dog showed up here recently, so we'll give that a go here in a little bit.
Sweet. Awesome.
And then the third one is the Distiller Safe from that range.
Right. So who was our Canadian saying he didn't believe I had the 18-year-old? Have they seen that up there?
Daniel Throttle, Daniel Throttle, Whiskey Throttle, Daniel. So I don't know, Daniel, have you seen that, or do you even know they made it?
I mean, it's 700, it's 46% ABV.
Hey, Frank Lampert is here.
Lampert!
He's pointing out the, we should have showed this earlier. We didn't. Our White Horse Scotch water pitcher.
Nice. But see, I want to point out on here, this is 70 CLE, which is what.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why he was telling me that this wasn't even supposed to be a U.S. release.
Yeah, that's right. It isn't.
So, and regardless, I was like, how much is it? I'll buy it. And I just went all in. So, but you're right. You could drop that and it would not be damaged.
The husband is asking you how you will sleep tonight, not knowing what that's like.
Like a baby. I've had that for about a year.
Like a 47-year-old.
Like a 47-year-old man with a slight little tummy.
You have to get up twice to go to the bathroom and your shoulder will hurt.
Right. Just once, and then, I slept wrong on the pillow. And I'll come up from this show feeling all cool, and my wife will be like, you ain't nothing. You ain't nothing. But she says it in Spanish, so it feels like she's saying something positive.
By the way, Ice Tree Extravaganza is very good.
Oh, boy.
I go back to I poured the Abunad, then I opened up the Extravaganza, so I'm going back to the Abunad now.
Wow. We've had a awesome San Juan, Puerto Rican fan that sends me these long emails, one to get in the contest. All right, the current contest that's going on for those dragon glasses, but he also wants me to say something in Spanish in one of our future shows, so I'm working on it. I've got a little something, and it can't be Spanish I already know due to the job. So my wife, the Puerto Rican, made me learn some new Spanish. We'll see. I may just read it off of the sheet. So what's funny is he was really impressed that we gave Jack Daniels a fair shot. He's a big fan of Jack Daniels Select Barrel. And the fact that we didn't automatically just come down and like poo-poo JD was what got him to watch more of the show. And he said now he's trying some different things. So kind of based on the fact that we try a lot of different things, including the Jack Daniels. So that was kind of cool. Okay. My wife's never going to watch this live show. When she goes to Puerto Rico, it is not hanging out at the beach or resort style living. It's going from like living room to somebody's basement, and it's all in Spanish, and it's not much of a vacation. If I can get enough Puerto Ricans that I know that like whiskey, and I have my own travel buddies in Puerto Rico, it'll make me want to go there, and I won't get in trouble for refusing to go. So there you go. I'm going to be pushing my Puerto Rican connections.
Amy says, "Tú no eres nada, Bart."
Wow. Tú no eres. Something about years, no years or something.
Eres.
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 I think. I'm not sure. I need my Google Translate. Sometimes it's brutal. My wife and I vacation differently. She likes to hit like waypoint after waypoint after waypoint after waypoint after waypoint. I want to sit at the beach with a Corona and have guys bring me more, or girls, whatever.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Good thing you followed up there.
Well, when I was in Cozumel, because I like to snorkel and dive a long time ago. And it was guys that would run out with these buckets of Coronas. I told the guy, hey, if you see I'm down to the last Corona in the bucket, and he said, Mas Corona. I said, oh, si, senor, si. And that guy ran Coronas like nobody's business. So I will always think of the guy that ran me Coronas on the beach under one of those umbrellas, reading a book. Every once in a while, slap on a mask and a snorkel, boom, dive in, come back. Loved it.
See, the best way you do that is when they bring your first drink, you give them a good tip.
Yes.
Like $20, $30, maybe even 50.
Oh, you were talking money. I always tell them your ice was perfect. Good job.
Yeah. Look both ways before you cross the street.
That's a good tip. Yes. Yes.
So you throw them a little extra cash right off the bat and you're like, hey, thanks. Good job. I'll need more of these throughout the day. And they're like, see, senor.
Yeah, that may have happened because he kept an eye on me. And when I came out and the mask came up, boom, a bucket of Coronas were coming. That was my type. I mean, it was leisurely. It was peaceful. The waves breaking on the beach. And I had no deadline, no time crunch. And it was beautiful. And I love it.
We better start to wrap. We're coming up on the 2-hour mark. We're at 1 hour and 47 minutes.
We have rambled.
Let's take a few questions.
Good call.
And we'll see what we can do. Now, if 400 questions come in, we won't be able to make it to all of them.
Right. But what are we down?
Drinking Caveman wants to know, are we planning a trip to the Bourbon Trail this year? This year, no. Next year is a possibility.
Yeah, we would love to say 100% yes for next year. But is anything 100%?
Until if this was our job, I think we could definitely say yes.
I agree.
But with the day jobs going, we got a few years till we retire. We're not, pushing stuff till then. We're just, and our channel, the Scotch Test Dummies, everything has been natural growth. We've never paid for any advertising. We've never pushed anything. It's all been word of mouth.
Right.
Because we're both 47. We've got the minimum is 2.5 to 3 years before we can retire. So once we turn 50, we'll see what happens. But when we turn 50, if we retired and got in, we'd say, yeah, next August, we've got a plan. August 25th, we're going. Boom.
Because I'd like to meet up with the fans on the Bourbon Trail.
We've both got jobs. We both got families. Bart's got younger kids. Mine are teenagers. I've got a senior and a freshman in college or in high school this year. So, I mean, they're getting older. Bart's got younger kids. They still demand a lot of attention.
10 and 8, and the youngest has got Down syndrome. He's awesome. But like today, he was just wanting to cuddle. So we did a lot of cuddling today. Another question. Anything else come in?
A cask strength shootout.
Oh boy,
that's not in the plans.
The only thing that sounds better than that would be a peated Scotch shootout.
Yeah, I don't know which one is next. Now, even peated or sherried scotches. I don't know that we could do 16, maybe 8.
Right. We talked about with peated, we'd probably limit it to 8. Do 2, 2, 2, 2.
Yeah.
Had to get the proper 2 in there, just because I think the peat would start to overpower each other. Maybe, I don't know. We definitely will try an 8-bottle peated shootout And depending on how it goes, we could try more later, but
that would be good with the peats, just 2 at a time.
Right. Yeah.
And even you start with 8, you're down to 4. Even that is taken on 2 at a time. It's just one against the other one. Because the peat is really, once it gets on your palate, it's hard to.
Right.
Unless you put the Octomore 6.3 in there against Lafroig, you might not tell a difference.
God, I can't wait. I will be. He'll throat punch me 5 times during that.
Jerry Bartlett's asking if any live distillery tours are planned. No, they're not. Once we do, we'd really like to do the Kentucky, Bourbon Trail first, just kind of as a test run. And that would be good experience for us as well, and testing live streaming as well from those locations.
We have a Wheat State distillery that closed down their industrial area, and they moved into what's kind of our bar district. And I just haven't linked up with David there at Wheat State because he was all for us coming in and filming. And I would like to do that almost as our test shot. I even thought about, could we do a live, but of course I don't know what's their internet connection. So we may do a pre-recorded show in there. And quite honestly, I need to touch base. I can't remember Dave's last name anymore, but great guy, runs Wheat State Distillery. And he's just moved downtown with a restaurant right next to it. It's really neat. And I thought that might be a good test bed. What else we got coming in?
Yeah, not bad. Whiskey Throttle asks about the Dummies Whiskey Festival, the Dummy Con.
I love the sound of that, first of all. I really do. You know what? I keep thinking we should keep it right here in Wichita as well, rather than Chicago or Denver. I mean, I like the sound of Denver. I know there's more stuff going on in Chicago. I got a brother there. I don't know. What do you think on that, Scott?
Well, I think International Airport, and I'm thinking Denver, or I'm thinking Chicago.
Yeah.
And it's easy for the Canadian people to get to as well. And they're not going to have to fly into Chicago or into Denver and then to Kansas City or then to Wichita.
True.
And even us, it's a little bit of an expense for us because we're going to have to go wherever. But it's easier for the masses per se.
Okay. I think by the time we know we've got masses, and if we could partner with, once we develop, I could see us getting to know some of these distilleries, whether they're United States or Ireland, Scotland, Japan, whatever. And if we had a sponsor for that and we're able to partnership with them being able to control and bring in legally, of course, the alcohol for the tasting, and then we were able to work with and connect with maybe Scotch for Dummies and run a dummy con. I like the sound of it. I think it'd be cool. And some board gaming.
There's some problems in there as well, though, like we were talking about is, so you stay at a Marriott or you stay at a Hilton, wherever you go, there's restrictions and laws on liquor.
Right.
And most of your bigger chains have vendors that they're going to have to use, and they won't let you have liquor stuff in public there. You can't reserve a convention room and do liquor. So then it comes up, well, you need a separate, sort of convention hall or a separate location for the tastings or the get-togethers, whatever.
That's why I think we're at least 3, 4, 5 years away, because we're going to need maybe a distributor that knows how to do all that stuff already. Because we've been to a couple events that they work out of hotel rooms, not rooms, hotel convention centers, where they're running their own tasting. So we know it can be done. We just need somebody that actually has the expertise, and then we're the talent. What else you got coming in?
Whiskey Throttle's pretty smart. He points out, just put it in a beer can.
There you go.
Yeah, several people commented that Chicago worked great for them. And I think that's a pretty central location, and it's pretty cheap. I think we can fly out of here into Chicago for probably a $200 round ticket.
Well, and Chicago's got a lot of whiskey bars. They've got a good whiskey scene. It's a good place to do it
All right. He asked earlier and I ignored it because it's a board game question.
Yes. Yes.
I should have put that on the board. No board games with a big slash through it.
Whatever. You love
the Ghostbusters sign.
You love a few board games yourself. Don't pretend.
Drinking Caveman wants to know, what is your favorite quick pickup board game, i.e. Wasabi, Hive, Love Letter?
Oh, definitely not Wasabi. Love Letter is probably phenomenal. For whatever reason, I do not like Hive. I know it's great for travel and everything else. Love Letter, I will tell you, Scott, comes in a red velvety bag and 16 cards. With those 16 cards, you can have, I think it's 4 players, and it's a short, very fun, simple.
Okay, your time's up.
Game of intrigue. So I would out of what he listed there, I would probably.
You're getting Velvet Elvis in the comments. Yeah, you gotta make it quick here. Come on.
Love Letter.
Boom.
Bam.
That's all he asked you. What's your favorite quick pickup board game? We get this
but
Wikipedia definition, and
you gave me a list there, and then I was thinking under that list it would be this, but there's some other ones I would probably do instead. But go ahead.
Drinking Caveman also pointed out we should do it in Vegas. That would be a great spot for it.
You know, I hate Vegas. I don't like Vegas. They send me there to trainings all the time, and it's lost on me. I hate it.
Patreon Drinking Caveman. Patreon barrel pick.
Patreon barrel pick, meaning that we could select a barrel that all the Patreon supporters kick in.
Oh.
And then we each get a unique bottle. That sounds interesting. I like who said that?
Drinking Caveman.
He's a genius. If we could do that.
Tracy Caudale pointed out Kentucky. And that came up before. That would be a good location. But it's not necessarily central or easy access or international.
Nashville.
Is that an international airport?
God, I'll tell you in about 3 weeks. I'm flying in, baby. I'm going to go to Corsair.
It's true. We would need, if we did do a dummy con, we need a few hour block, just Patreon.
What do you mean?
Just to hang out with just the Patreon people.
Oh, that's easy. You just do like one of the nights, like Thursday night is hotel room, whatever, and you do Patreon night or at the.
Which Mel is on here, the basement drummer, and he's volunteered his house.
God, his house looks awesome.
I don't know if he knows how many people we're talking about. It'd be like one of those high school parties, when the parents are gone.
Oh yeah, Scott's in the pool peeing. Wearing this hat I'm wearing right now, and he's like, "Hey!"
And Jerry Bartlett points out Denver. Originally I was thinking Chicago or Denver, one of the two.
Well, we've all got ties in Denver. Well, Scott and I do. So, I lived in Denver for a while, and I lived up in the mountains before that. So, but I got to admit, Chicago was probably better. Probably. So, and my brother does live there. So,
Amy says that both of her and the husband's folks live there. I think she's talking about Nashville. You talking about Nashville or Denver, Amy? And that we would all be welcome.
Well, that'd be cool.
I can see a movie being made. That's all I'm saying.
I am housebroken.
I don't know when has the basement drummer Mel, have you been here all along? Was he here early on?
I don't know. I can't see it, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to
remember.
This has been fun. We've never gone this long.
I know it. Well, if this was a YouTube show, I would have cut this off just because no one's going to come in and watch a a really long show. I don't think. I think you lose some viewers post
Sure.
being done. But since this is our Patreon people and we're just hanging out and
Right.
like you say, having fun, answering some questions and talking whiskey. Hey,
drinking some bottle of Wow.
Now we did the last time we did this, we actually, when we only had, I think we were at 19 or 21 Patreon supporters, but we kind of did a hangout where we invited everybody to come in on video and hang out with us. Right. I think we had 6 or 7 that were able to make it. But when we're up to 45, 46 Patreon supporters now, and there's no way we could, I mean, we've talked about, okay, maybe we do 10 at a time. Well, that would be 4 weekends in a row or a day long where we're doing separate sessions, trying to bring everybody in. How do we do that? More of a logistical nightmare. So just kind of this private hangout with just you guys and the chat box came up.
Oh, I like this better, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And then doing some call-ins like that with Ronald. If we had some more folks that wanted to do call-ins, I think that's neat. You know, I wouldn't mind if we did a couple guests, or should we talk about the other coins? Do you want to bring that up?
Yeah, and I was hoping they should have been here. We did get the Patreon coins done. For those that reach the $100 mark,
right?
We'll get a special coin that we had made up. It's got the Dummies logo, the Patreon logo on one side, and then the edging has a $100 Patreon Super Scotch God on it. So, and then we're talking about, we'll probably do something at the $500 mark. We may go with a metal coin, though, for those, or something else we're talking about. That's in the works.
Right.
Once you reach those marks.
Yeah, because what we want to do is, we noticed real quick that several people had hit the $100 total support mark, which is phenomenal. And Scott and I talked and said, you know, we got to have a little something. So we decided a special Patreon coin that when you hit $100, that we go ahead and just mail that off to you. You know, we get your address, we mail you this coin. You don't buy it or anything. Clearly, you've been a supporter. You're over, you know, you're at or above the $100 mark. We just send you a very, it won't be numbered, but it's a coin only for Patreon supporters that hit that number. And then we're going to redo that, assuming someone stays with us that long, 500. You know, who knows where that goes, because we plan on sticking around. And we just thought, that might be we think that's a neat way to support folks that basically have been with us over time, because that, you know, those supports month by month build up, and then we're able to kind of give back a little bit, give something a little unique. So,
well, Jesse Voisin asked if there's any chance we do a tequila. We did a mezcal. We have actually filmed a tequila, but we kind of kept it in the background just in case we ever ran short of episodes, or we needed to get one posted and didn't have something.
We're both sick, you know, and we just put it out or something.
And the fact is, I've got it, and I would even have to dig to find it where it's at.
We need to get those out.
We did that in Hennessy.
Yeah,
and it was with the Riedel glasses when we had the.
Yep, I picked those out.
I've picked up these 2 ports rums that a lot of people have been saying, hey, you guys got to start doing some rums. And I was in our liquor store, and they had this 4 Square rum distillery. If I can get past the North Korean light 20-watt light bulb, it's not going to.
Yeah, it looks blank.
There we go. Here. 4 Square rum distillery, port cask finish. They had this opened at the liquor store, and I tried a sample. Now, what puts me off with a lot of rums is that really sweet maple syrup finish.
Yes.
This does not have it.
What happened there? Did you still
taste this taste rum? Yeah, I did. This taste rum, and then finishes dry and astringent with a port whiskey finish. I loved it.
Did you spill Spice Tree?
No, Abunad. I was trying to continue on there, but you're like the persistent mosquito.
Well, the fans wanted to know, dude. You can't just ignore that.
They wouldn't even noticed.
They knew.
So then they also had from the four square. They've got a couple there, or I think 4 different ones. Criterion.
It looks like Criterion.
Yeah, this is the one that they pulled up, and Fred Minnick had said, if you see this in a liquor store, don't buy a bottle, buy every bottle they got. So I picked up those 2, and we'll probably sit down with them and give them a good review. But like I say, the port cask finish one was outstanding.
All right. So are we gonna, if we start doing rums, we're gonna have to have like Wednesday rum day or something?
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think we can just work stuff in. We've done bourbons on Saturdays. We've done scotches on Wednesdays now.
Yeah,
it might be at the point we just throw something in there, and you'll have somebody that holler, "Hey, it's Wednesday. What's up with the rum?"
True. I still like having our because like when I run across somebody, I'll tell them, "Oh yeah, we do America's whiskeys on Wednesday, and we do Scotch World Whiskey Saturday, live show Sunday." I like that.
Daniel Willis is leaving. Thanks, Daniel, for tuning in. Oklahoma City's out.
Boom. All right. Well, we're about ready to wrap up. Any other questions come in?
Well, Whiskey. Let's see. Whiskey Throttle said to call him. You want to call Whiskey? I got his number.
Do it. You call him.
One more call in real quick here. Whiskey Throttle. I had him DM me his number.
Sweet.
On Twitter.
Last call in. We wanted to do
that. Number is 1-555.
Don't say it. Now the whole world will have it.
555.
Oh, you're criminal.
We're calling Daniel.
876-5309. Look at that. That sounds great. I love it.
You had a good connection with Ronald.
Turn the volume down, right?
Here we go. Daniel, finally.
Hello, Dummies.
How you doing?
Can you hear me now?
We got you. Now, to point out to the viewers, Daniel or Whiskey Throttle was also responsible for sending us the samples of the Lucky Bastard.
Yes.
And the T-shirts.
Right.
I am here.
Now, where are you at? You do a lot of traveling and a lot of work. Are you in the oil industry?
Here's how we explain it. I am a bricklayer, and I work at refineries, pulp mills, etc. And we line the inside of various types of units.
There you go. Where are you at now?
Travel lots. I am in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
And that's home.
That is home, yes, when I'm not traveling. And on my way to Oregon tomorrow.
Oregon. Oh, yeah. You pointed out I said that we got the McCarthy's. It's a 3-year-old single malt Oregon whiskey that they use imported Scottish peated barley for.
Hello, you had me there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is, I hear it's some good stuff. We've had it for sale here, and I never picked up a bottle, so I'll have to trust you.
If you get a chance, give it a try. I sat down with it last night, and there is no way blind I would have ever guessed that was an American-made whiskey.
No. And we have some stuff here, that one bottle that Bart told me not to open. Because there was a peated one. We knew that was going to happen.
Which one? The Port Charlotte? Oh, that was unopened?
It's open now.
There you go, Bart. You told him to open the Port Charlotte, and he did it.
Woo!
I listened. I'm into my second dram right about now, so if I slur, you know why.
Slowly. I've got envy. Envy, brother.
You got envy?
Envy.
I might send you a sample.
Oh, now you're talking.
I took all my sample bottles while I was out of town.
Punish.
So was it worth opening?
Oh, it's very good. Yes. It's actually 50% ABV, but I wouldn't add a drop of water to it.
Ooh, Lordy.
And it's sherry and what is that other bottle, a barrel they use there, a wine barrel, I'm going to say it just the way Bart would say it. Tempranillo and French wine casks.
I like the way you talk.
Yeah, I just don't have a fancy enough hat, that's all. But it is very, very huge wine finish.
Nice.
What? Okay. What's the most expensive bottle you've bought?
Well, I have a 1968 family cask, which was probably, we'll just say it's gone up 750%.
Woo!
Since I bought it.
Watch
if I
out.
want to buy another bottle.
Wow. Now I
There's
think
only 488 bottles available.
I think I remember on Twitter or Instagram you put out a picture or talked to that at some point, right?
Yes, I'm a big Glenn Farkless fan. So.
No, okay, that's right. Is it your birth year?
Yeah, I was born in '68, but don't tell the girls.
Your secret is safe with
That's
us and the nine people watching.
That's it. We got a big fan following. Big fans.
Big fans. Well, but they're loyal fans, right?
That's right.
That's right. The oldest age-wise I have is, and I'm actually in my room right now, is 47 years old.
Ooh, wow.
It's from Glendenny.
Nice.
Now, how about what is you've sent samples to us and Whiskey Lassie, Joanne McGinnis as well. How do you know Joanne? Are you there?
Oh, we lost him.
Are we still connected?
Yeah, well, I lost you for a second there. I was asking you about, you had sent us samples of the Lucky Bastard to us and Joanne McGinnis, Whiskey Lassie. I was just asking how you knew Joanne.
Just the whiskey factory. Just the whiskey. That's all it is.
That's what. Okay, good. That's so interesting.
Yeah, she lives on the other end. I grew up in the area she lives in, but I'm not from there.
What is Daniel? What's your go-to? Say, I ask people their genre of Scotch. Where my favorite is sherried Scotches. Bart's, I would say, is peated Scotches. What is your go-to whiskey?
Well, you know what? I am a member of the Single Malt Whiskey Society, so I often go to whatever I opened up from them. But those don't last long, and you're never opening up an original unless you're buying 2 or 3 or a case bottles.
Uh-huh.
If I like, I would say that I'm usually leaning toward a sherry cask. I don't like peat for peat's sake. It's got to blend in properly, so that's kind of my feeling that way. I like peat, but not just because its ppms are so high, like I mentioned.
Right. Great.
And I mean, I'm looking at right now, talking about tequila, and you can look this up if you want. It's called Hornitos, and it's called Black Barrel, and it's aged in whiskey barrels, double matured in whiskey barrels.
That's the one that we've done, and we've got on the back burner.
Yep.
Okay, so if I gave that to somebody in a blind tasting, I swear, everybody I've given it to, they do not believe that it's a tequila.
I would agree. It picks up a lot of the whiskey notes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I wish we had another one. I was in our liquor store last week or a couple weeks ago, and they had me taste one. And I don't remember what it is, but it's another one that's been aged in whiskey barrels as well. And I think this other one, I'll have to try to find out what it was. It's even more so than that Hornitos was.
Really?
Yeah.
That will find out what it is. Let us know.
Yeah.
The problem is with tequila is there are so many different types to try up here. I think probably more than Scotch sometimes.
Well, we got to get that video out now.
Well, I think you need to come up here and we'll take you to the bar that's a board game and beer.
No, we don't want to do that one.
I do.
I sent that link to you on Bart's Facebook.
Yeah, I want to come.
A couple of things real quick. Frank had asked about the price of the 4-square port. Jesse Voisin pointed out it's $35 at Total Wine. I know at Auburn Spirits, I think it was maybe $40, $45. And they had 4 or 5 of those different rums to choose from the 4-square rum distillery. Amy Holland Woody wants me to say Glenfarclas.
Wow.
It's a Glenfarclas.
Your audio just got better there for a little bit too. I'm serious.
Drinking Caveman, though, points out he's in Portland, Oregon, Whiskey Throttle, if you're going anywhere near there.
You tell Drinking Caveman that I will be.
There you go.
One of the guy I'm driving down with, we're staying in Astoria, and I can't get on this tuna boat because it's booked unless somebody cancels. So the motorbike's coming off, and I am free to travel wherever I want to go.
Nice. All right, there you go, Drinking Caveman. He will be there. Nasi, are you on Instagram as well? Throttle?
Yes, I am. I'm Whiskey for My Motorcycle on.
That's right. Drinking Caveman is on Instagram. He's not on. No, he did get on Twitter recently. So if you guys want to link up, hit each other up there. But
that would be great. I need somebody to show me where to go find the good stuff.
There you go.
The hidden ones. Since you guys have your own whiskey hunter, I need to find one down in the States.
That's right.
Well, hey, Daniel, thanks for letting us give you a call.
No, thank you very much for calling me, and I love you guys. You're hilarious. Keeping on the light side.
Well, thank you. We appreciate all the support we get from you. That's awesome as well.
Will do.
Probably. It's a good thread or a good fabric, I'll say.
It is. It really is.
Perfect.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you, man.
Thanks a lot. Have a good night.
Yep, you too. Later.
Yeah.
See you in the bar.
All right, Scotty boy, we better be wrapping this up.
Jesse Voisin points out the Tears of Lorana tequila is finished in Scotch, sherry, and cognac barrels.
Wow.
He sent us samples of that, but that's the one that broke open in the package, Bart.
Oh, that's right.
And I still have it sitting right here.
Yes, you saved it. You saved the evidence. Look at that. We got a back of the chair, so I'm going to fill time. I'm filling time.
It's right there. There's a little packet, the little sheet he printed off. You put in there with it. Tears of Lorana. Tequila's higher octave. And it's the bottle still in there. Shattered.
Oh, it doesn't sound good at all. Oh, like a little baby rattle. Oh. All right. We should probably wrap it. This bottle of wow starting to hit.
Hey, thanks all you Patreon supporters. Greatly appreciated. You're definitely helping us keep the light on, as they would say, the candle in the window.
The lights are on, baby.
And hopefully, I mean, we would like to commit and say we would like to do this monthly. That might be pushing it. We're going to go for quarterly,
right.
Maybe 4 times a year, try to do this. If we could do it more often, great.
My wife will kill me with this 2-hour show we're doing right now. We're 2 hours and 18 minutes. I'm in trouble. I'm getting that.
But
quarterly is good.
We've talked about things though too, just to say thanks. How do we, let you guys know we appreciate everything, from the coins, the shows, what else do we do? We want to do kind of individual, or not individual, but unique stuff. And like Bart was saying, there was one of our commenters kind of was down on us about doing this just for our Patreon supporters. We think we need to do more for you guys.
Sure.
So that's always in the talks and in the works. How do we do that?
Yeah, and whenever we do this, we're not taken away from the regular live show. And that's what I was telling that one commenter. we weren't going to do a show at all because we didn't have a guest lined up. And then I said, you know what? We need to do something for our Patreon supporters. And you were like, hell yeah. And so the one individual's like, hey, I don't know if I want to be a Patreon supporter, but I've sent you guys a couple bottles. And we're like, hey, that's great. But, the show is always going to be free. But we got to do some stuff for the men and women that the guys and the gals that help support us that bring the show, because we're always going to keep it free. So cool. All right, dude, I better go up and check with my wife, or I'm going to be doing this full time.
All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in to everybody. And again, thank you very much. We greatly appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you very much. Solancha to all you super Scotch gods. Scotch it, you Scotch gods.
Solancha. Dummies.
Dummies. See you guys later.